Hello and welcome to the Many Faces of Cancer podcast. I am your host, Melissa Grosboll, and joining me today is Howard Aaron. In Philadelphia, born and raised, Howard is a husband, father, and grandfather. In his 20s and 30s, Howard used his entrepreneurial skills to start a recycling business and later on a janitorial supply company that specializes in the distribution of latex gloves. In his 40s, he got an opportunity to purchase a fitness club in Philadelphia and capitalized on his knowledge of the body to become one of Philadelphia's top personal trainers. Howard is a world-class bench press competitor in the USA Powerlifting Federation. After turning 70 years old, he was diagnosed with an intravascular B Cell Lymphoma. He was told 1 in 2 million people are diagnosed with this form of cancer. After 6 months of extensive chemotherapy, he was pronounced cancer-free. He was able to get back into the world of bench press competition, and in February, we'll head to Columbus, Ohio to compete at the Arnold Classic. So welcome to the show, Howard.
Well, thank you for having me, Melissa. I'm excited to be here.
I am so excited for this conversation. So let's start out. You said only 1 in 2 million people are diagnosed with this form of cancer. So tell us a little bit about what intravascular B cell lymphoma actually is.
Well, so intravascular B cell lymphoma, I believe the B cell distinguishes the type of cell, large versus small cell. Intravascular, as it was explained to me, it was in the blood vessels, it was in the arteries, it was in the veins, it's maybe even capillaries. Any vessel that carried blood is where the cancer was. So for me, it was very, I was dumbfounded really in hearing this, because when I thought brain cancer, I'm thinking tumor. When I would hear somebody say, well, this person, let me say this. It's horrible to hear somebody has a brain cancer. When I was told I had it, I really didn't fear what I was being told. I was being given the news, and I was just trying to take it all in to to just hear what the doctor had to say. Of course, I had a million questions. Everybody has a million questions when they're all of a sudden told that they may not live. Their life isn't going to be the same. The next 6 months to a year are not going to be like anything else that you've ever experienced. But I felt that I just wanted to listen to what the doctors wanted to tell me and kind of give them the information, saying, just tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it. And I kind of just let it go at that, because being in the fitness business, as one of my former clients said to me, you're the last person I ever thought would be diagnosed with cancer. And I said to him, do you think cancer knows how healthy I eat, how much I work out, how well I sleep, how stress-free I feel my life is? I said, when cancer comes, it's going to hit whoever it wants to. It's a blob of black and gray. That's all I can see when I talk about it. That is just ready to say, okay, it's your turn. This is on you. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you're going to do about it. And that's how I first started thinking about it.
So if you think about it that way, then there's really there's nothing that you can do to help prevent or help mitigate the risk if it's just kind of the luck of the draw.
Well, you can read about, antioxidants. I think we all try to do things to minimize the risk of disease affecting our bodies. We go out of our way, I try to eat organic. I wash off, fruit. I triple rinse this. Once the pandemic hit, washing my hands. I mean, to the point where you're going, how many times? It's like a doctor. It's like, you touch something, you want to wash your hands. You want to put the antibacterial stuff on. So it was kind of like saying, um, I'm going to do everything I can. And in spite of it all, it was like, okay, pal, I call it being tapped. I got tapped to say, it's your turn. Let's see what you got. And that's how I felt early on when I was given this news. My family looked at me to say, well, let's see how he handles this. What's he going to do? And I knew, and I've read this, positivity definitely puts you in a much better place when it comes to things you can try to do to help you win this battle.
Oh, absolutely.
And I needed all the positivity I could muster. Yeah, big time.
Well, I saw the video that you posted on your Facebook page that kind of went viral, and I think it was probably just after your surgery because you were showing the scar, and I was so inspired because you really weren't like, oh my gosh, why has this happened to me or anything like that. You're like, all right, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna do what the doctor said, but like, this isn't stopping me. This isn't slowing me down.
When we're kids, we play sports, we play neighborhood ball, we get together with people. And there's another side of us that I feel we all have in us, the competitive side, the side that says, you're my friend, or you're my, your buddy, or you're my pal. But when it comes to this situation, whether the situation is baseball or football or just something where you're kind of interactive, you take on this, at least I do, I take on this battle type of mentality where, I like to win, I want to win, and I couldn't see myself with all this information now in my head, hearing the doctors, watching people. I couldn't see myself all of a sudden saying, you know what, I'm going to handle this different. I'm going to break down. I'm going to get depressed. I'm going to go, woe is me. I just wouldn't let that happen, Melissa. I simply said, you know what, I've been a competitor all my life. I feel, starting businesses was the perfect example of how I was willing to take a chance. I was willing to take a risk. And I think early on, I started realizing that, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to take the responsibility if it doesn't work, but I want to take all the credit if it does work. And just having that competitiveness in me, I think really worked for me in helping me realize that, it's going to be a battle, and all I want to do is listen to what the doctors tell me to do and help them in any way that I can.
Now, your chemotherapy was pretty intense, wasn't it? I mean, I've heard with brain cancer, it's pretty intense.
I will say this. When I sat with my oncologist, she said to me, if you can handle what we give you, you're getting more on the next round. And if you can handle that, and if you can handle that, then you're going to get more on the next round. They're mindful of how the chemotherapy affects your body, your blood cells, your white cells, your red cells. Um, and at the same time, when you can give the doctors an opportunity to say, listen, I want to be a team player, and if the game is saving my life, then I want to help you any way I can because I'm only going to benefit from it. You know,
So
I think
communication is really
people,
the key with your doctors then,
oh my
right?
God, you, you know, people get upset. Look, everyone is allowed to react within themselves when given tragic news. And I have to say, finding out about cancer, brain cancer, is definitely tragic news.
Mhm.
Um, but I think after we get over the why me, oh my God, now what? How am I going to handle this? How am I going to do that? Once you go through all of that, and I think everybody goes through a period of that. Um, it's almost like if we lose someone, whether it's from old age, if somebody passes away, we all have a period of mourning that we're allowed to think about whatever it is we need to think about. But then we all come out of that. We get through that. And I think with the cancer, we're all allowed to get upset, to cry, to feel angry. But after that, after you get all those feelings out, now ask yourself the question, now what do I do? Now how do I go on? Do I stay in that mindset, or do I say, okay, let's take it to the next step? What are we going to do about it? What do you need me to do? How can I help you do it? And that's where I went. That's where my head went.
And do you think as you're talking, I kind of just, had a light bulb that maybe people when they're diagnosed, maybe they try and get past it quicker and so they don't actually go through it and so those feelings are kind of always there and they just stay with you versus, hey, I'm going to feel all the feelings now, get them expressed, move through, and then I can be in the fight. And what are we going to do about it now? I don't know. That
I
just
mean,
kind of came to me as you were talking.
well, I think that's probably the best way to handle it. I think we
But I
we
think a lot
all
of people don't. Like they either stay in that woe is me all forever, or they try and get over it too quickly and just go through it without feeling the feelings.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to say that, and in the perfect world, you want to try to be somewhere in the middle of that. So
Right.
you want to be, you know, you want to express yourself. You don't want to hold things in. You don't want to go into a quiet mode. You don't want to go into I just want to be by myself, or I got to just deal with this on my own. You know, if you're blessed with friends and if you're blessed with family, then this is the time to feel that because you are blessed with them, that they're ready to help you. They're ready to step in and do whatever they can do. And again, I have to just continue talking about positivity. Positivity and attitude and love and feeling that you're not alone, because there are times when you're really going to feel like you're alone.
Hmm.
But just like the evening comes, the light comes at the end of the evening, and now it's day again. So the light always comes back. Um, I try not to get caught up in the middle. I tell people it's not healthy to make good decisions in the middle of a storm. A storm will end, and when it ends and the sun comes out, it's a little bit easier then to think about what's going on, what am I going to do, how am I going to handle this. So when I say the storm, in this situation, I think the storm is how, when you first get the news, when you're first told. I spoke at an event last month, and I'm talking to people in the room that either had cancer, have cancer, or were there to support somebody that had or have cancer. And I said, we all remember that phone call. We all remember that one doctor's appointment where everything changed, everything
Yep.
stopped. Normal routine now is out the window. And this is now something that everybody has to now think about and deal with. And the easier it is for your listeners, especially those that are just becoming getting into this world of cancer, not that they wanted to, but it's just the way things happen. The more you can surround yourself with people, the better it's going to be for you. And you're giving these people, whoever they are, again, friends, coworkers, family, you're giving them the opportunity to do what they want to do, which is love you and hold you and hear what's going on, because they want to be there to help in any capacity. So, you want to embrace that. You don't want to say, I got this, or this is my battle, it's not your battle. That's not healthy. I think we just need to understand that people want to help people, and that also brings out all the good that I do believe there is in people. So, seize the moment and use it to help you through that initial shock of hearing the word. Yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of people, and thank you for bringing that out, because I think a lot of people, when they're going through this, they feel like they don't want to be a burden on others. So they try and shoulder it all themselves, and not really realizing that, our family and our friends, they want to help us, like they want to be there for us, and you're not a burden to them at all. And I mean, so many people like ask me, like, how can I help and what can I do, and all of that. And I don't really recommend people doing that, because we're so overwhelmed, we don't know what we need. It's like, come with concrete things like, hey, can I bring you dinner, or hey, can I come do your laundry or something. But don't be afraid to reach out to the people in your life, because they really want to help you in some way.
We go through life and we have situations that come around, and sometimes the situation happens and we handle it a certain way. Right now, I'm not saying the right way, the wrong way, a certain way. And then the situation ends, and now we move on to something else, but we come back. Our mind comes back to what just happened. And a lot of times we end up saying to ourselves, man, if I had to do that over again, if I was given the opportunity to help somebody or to hear what he had to say, I think I would have handled it different. So the point is that you're allowed to make a decision, and then you're allowed to think about the decision that you think you just made, and now say to yourself, is this what I want to do? Is this how I want to be? And I think in most instances, we get an opportunity to revisit that whole situation again, and then we say, all right, you know what? I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to do it this way. So, and that second thought of, well, I think I'm going to change how I want to do it, usually is the right decision to make. So it's very hard. It's very hard to think clear when somebody says to you, you have cancer. It's,
Right.
it's, and because it's so hard, you need to take the time and really just feel it all, look what's around you, and and slowly start developing, and this is how I handled it, slowly start developing a game plan. You know, again, people are going to be forthcoming. Tell me what I can do for you. I'm here for you. Whatever you need. You need to get a ride to the hospital, I'm there. You want me to make you meals and bring them over to your house, I'm there. Um, you know, and even though in the beginning we may say, no, listen, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm going to handle this. We eventually come back and say, you know what? I think I'm going to take you up on that offer. I think I'm going to
Yeah.
take you up on that offer because, you know, you get that, you reconsider and you understand. So,
Well,
you
and
know,
I
when
mean,
the,
chemotherapy sucks. It doesn't matter how positive of an attitude you have about it. I mean, when you're in the midst of it, it's hard and you're exhausted and all the things, and like let people help you.
you know, I'm going to tell you something. You watch the video. I'll never forget first walking into the hospital, into my room. And the first thing I had to think about was, how do I feel? Now, forget about the fact that I have this intravascular B cell lymphoma. All right. That doesn't mean right now I'm in excruciating pain or I'm feeling sick. It means I have this disease, I have this cancer, and but I still feel okay. And I said to myself, if I feel okay, I don't want to act sick. I want to act like I feel. And like I feel is, yeah, I'm off a little bit, but I don't feel the pain and the discomfort. You know, when you're talking about heavy chemotherapy, I will say this. You feel it. I felt at some point I wasn't fighting the cancer anymore. I was fighting the side effects from the chemotherapy
Yeah.
because the drugs are amazing. And I can speak firsthand. I knew what they had to do and I knew what they ended up doing. And if I had to lose hair and lose weight and get bloated and start feeling all kinds of weird pains and spasms, then you know what? That's what I had to do. That's what I had to do. So I do think, as much as today, I mean, my God, if you just put um, uh, any of the drugs in a Google search and you start reading and reading and reading, and now you're saying to yourself, oh my God, this could happen to me, that could happen to me. You know what? If you looked at the side effects of aspirin, you would see that there's 50 different possible things that could happen to you, and all you want to do is take something to get rid of this headache, and now you're reading about it can cause this, it can do liver, it can do this, it can change that, you know, it can interact with this. So listen, there's always going to be the side effects. There's always going to be the uncomfortableness, but just keep in mind why you're taking it in the first place. And it's to beat the disease. And if beating the disease means losing your eyelids, losing your eyebrows, losing my nasal hair, I mean, you know, I never even thought about losing nasal hair. And then all of a sudden it was like, I got things just running down my face? Like, I can't stop. What's going on? And then I realized, oh my God, I lost all the hair on my nose. You know,
It doesn't just,
nobody.
you don't just lose it on your head. You lose it
No,
everywhere.
thank you. You don't just lose it on your head. That's exactly right. And nobody tells you this. You know, it's like, oh my God, I got to find out some of this stuff, you know, firsthand. But again, it comes back. It comes back. And however you are, and some of my videos, man, I don't care how good looking or pretty you are, when you don't have eyebrows and eyelashes, you kind of look different. That's all I'm going to say. You kind of look different. You know, you don't walk into a room and then just say, hey, how's everybody? People are looking at you like, oh my God, what is this guy up with? What's going on with him? You know, it's, yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but these are the things that we have to put up with in order to get ourselves to the point where we can ring the bell and or just be told that we do not have any more cancer cells in our body. And I look at life 50-50. You know, I know people that'll say, well, what are my chances? 90-10, 85-15. You know, I say 50-50 because
What do you
nobody
mean
is
by that?
ever going to be able to say to you, I guarantee you,
Mm.
you will definitely, you got this. You either do or you don't. And the minute that you can say to yourself, there's a chance this may not work, I felt that I needed to feel humble. I needed to be able to say, well, you know what? I want to talk to people about how I'm feeling. I want to talk about death. I want to talk about, you know, my thoughts. Get it out of between your ears, because the more stuff you keep in here, the harder it is to just exist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got enough to think about with trying to, like survive. You don't need all that other stuff in there too, competing with it.
You know, because I was a competitor, because I felt like I was a fighter, I actually asked God one day early on, why me? I think anybody that is first diagnosed with cancer has that one moment by themselves where they say, why me? Why did this have to happen to me? And, you know, I think some people may say, well, it was because I did this to this guy, or I did this to this person, or I wasn't nice, or I should have been nicer, or I should have done that, you know, and then people will say, stop beating yourself up. For me, what I said to myself was, you know what? I've been working out all my life. I've been trying to get as strong and stay strong as much as anybody that I know, not allowing my age to to change how I was working out. I actually said, I think this is a test to see, do I have the strength that I think I have? And if I do, then I'm going to prove, of course, to myself first, but to the world, to the universe, that I can deal with this. I'm going to deal with the side effects. I'm going to deal with all the stuff that I have to deal with. And if that's what it's going to take for me to put this thing into remission, then I'm going to do it.
So, and being a trainer, and I'll kind of use this analogy. Like I tell my clients, like, okay, you're not doing bicep curls to get us to have, guns. You're getting bicep curls so you can lift those grocery bags, and for you, maybe like all these years of getting strong wasn't so you could bench press 330. It was so you could get through everything
Yes.
that this cancer threw at you.
Once, Melissa, once I was able to realize that, I actually felt better. I actually understood. I understood. I didn't have to go, woe is me, why me anymore. I made, I actually, I stamped that thought and said, I agree, and that is why, and let's prove that I can do it. Um, and you know, look, I know you train people, I train people who have children that are diagnosed with cancer, seniors that are diagnosed with cancer, 20-year-old people diagnosed with cancer. What everybody has to realize is, and I had to realize this myself, and as I said this before, I want to reiterate, you live as healthy a lifestyle as you can, but please don't think that it absolves you from ever having a dreadful, scary disease possibly try to enter your body. It's going to happen regardless. The question now is, how do you handle it? How do you handle it? And I wholeheartedly agree with you. I tell people, it's not what you look like, it's how you feel. So we're training to get stronger. We're not training so that you can put on this special dress or so that you can put on this bathing suit or this outfit that you bought that you haven't been able to wear in 5 years. I said we're training to get strong, because when you're strong, you feel confident, and you don't know that until you try it. So if there's listeners out there that have been contemplating working out, getting into fitness, the new year, this is the year I want to make a change, this is when I want to do something, understand that you're really doing it so that your body can better handle whatever's coming down the road, because you can't see it. You can't see it.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us where you are today. So you're getting ready to compete again. So how long did it take you to get back into, fighting shape after you went through all of this?
Interesting story. Once I started chemotherapy, they had to put the tube into, I'm blanking out on the
port,
where they, the port, where they put the port. Well, they first put the port in my bicep, because somebody said, let's put it in his bicep. And again, I wasn't yelling and screaming and stamping my feet and, no, you can't do that. I said, hey, listen, if that's where you think it should go, then put it there. But I don't think that's the best spot. Halfway through my chemo, I had the procedure to take it out. They took the port out of my bicep. They put the port in this area, which has made it a lot easier for me. I didn't have to the cleaning it and maintaining it and things like that. But again, I told myself, I've been working out for so many years. What's going to happen in 6 months? I actually had to think about this. I'm going to lose some definition. I didn't lose a lot. I lost strength. But I also told myself that this is a whole new journey, and I can't read a magazine, or I can't go to see somebody who's going to say to me, based on your age, not working out for 6 months, it's going to take you 3 months, 3 years, 6 months, 1 year to come back. I had to say, I have to just do what I feel I can do. And I will say to you right now, today, I am back where I need to be. And the crazy piece is this: I'm going to be better than I was. I'm going to be better than I was before cancer. And if it's all about how much weight I can press, I will tell you that I am really, really close to what I've done as my best ever. And preparing for this meet, I had this whole thing. Yeah, it's like I had cancer, and then I had to fight that, and battle that, and do all that, and then I come out of that, and now it's like, okay, get back into the gym, and now start lifting again, and seeing that the muscle is coming back, and my brain is free of disease. There's no cancer there. So the central nervous system is working well, and I feel more confidence going into this meet than I've ever felt, ever, ever. And
Because you beat cancer,
come the
man, you can do anything, right?
but let me say this, because I'm involved, I'm sure you are as well, but once I got into the cancer community, once I got into the world of cancer, I started hearing, you know 15 years cancer free, it came back. 10 years cancer free, it came back. 3 years cancer free, it came back. you know I can't worry about it. I can't think about it. I have to say, if it happens, then I'm ready to do it again if I have to. But if it if I can just continue that one day at a time, whatever I'm supposed to do today, wherever I'm supposed to be, then I'm going to say I'm clearer right now, I think, than I've ever been, and I'm expecting big big things from this meet, and I think that's going to be one of my aha moments. That's how I'm looking at this.
Awesome.
And
Yeah, I mean, we can't
and it,
live our lives like, oh my gosh, what if it comes back? Because then you're just wasting away what God has given you in, I don't want to say a second chance, but getting through this. So just, live your life as if you've got the rest of your life. And, I had my oncologist said to me, because I actually turned down chemotherapy because I didn't feel that it was right for me. And my oncologist said, in 3 years, if you're back in my office with metastatic breast cancer, are you going to regret the decision that you're making today? And I said, no. I said, if I'm back in your office in 3 years with metastatic breast cancer, then that's a conversation. And then we go from there. But I'm not going to
wow.
worry about it for the next 3 years or however that it may come back. I'm just going to live my life. And she's like, okay, like I have nothing else to say about that then.
you know until you experience cancer, it's a very uncomfortable conversation to have with anybody.
Mhm.
But once you've experienced cancer, now it's just like anything else that you want to talk about. You want to talk about sports, fashion, food, cancer. Um, you know, and if you can, if your listeners can try to live one day at a time and embrace and enjoy what life has right now for you, then you don't live worrying that something may happen to you down the road, because nobody has that crystal ball. You know, we think we have it under control, but then we realize that it's totally out of our hands, and all we can do is have a good attitude. The last thing I also want to touch on is age. It's interesting when I hear people say, age is just a number, and I agree. I agree. Age is just a number. Age is not a reason to stop doing something, or or to change or modify something that you like doing just because you're getting older. If you live life, then don't worry about the number. Worry about how you feel,
Mhm.
and continue doing things to put a smile on your face. I say one line: never try not to lose your childlike enthusiasm for life.
Oh, I love that.
Childlike enthusiasm for life sets the tone for happiness and smiles and laughing and giddiness, because that's what kids are. If you take a child, and they laugh and they giggle and they say, "Where are we going?" And you say, "We're going to the circus," and it's like, "Oh my God, that's so great." You know, as we get older, we feel that there's a need we got to tone down. We have to stop showing our emotions. We have to, just go, oh yeah, that's great. Okay. No, 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 no. The happier you can be, the happier you can be, the better you can be. And, when I was diagnosed with cancer, I know that I had it before the diagnosis. I don't know whether it was a year before, 6 months before, 2 years before. I know I had it before. Okay. Well, I was younger then. You know, I'm 72 now, and I'm waiting for the person to say, "What? But when you were 69, you're telling me that you weren't stronger at 69 than you are at 72?" No, no. And you know what? I think the way that I'm going to continue getting stronger as I continue getting older. Do you know why? Because I don't want to lose what I have.
Yeah.
I want to keep it going. Now, I may have to ice a little more. I may get more massages. I do body maintenance, and I think that's something else that is very important. And throughout chemotherapy, I will tell you, I was getting massages.
Good.
I needed somebody to hit the muscle and get some of the toxins out of my body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also very important. And, we didn't know those things 20 years ago, 30
Right.
years ago. But with the knowledge that we have now, I think it's to our advantage to look for all the positive ways that you can continue supporting and helping yourself through this very challenging time.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, Howard, where can people find you? Like I alluded to your videos. If people want to reach out to you, if they want to connect with you, what's the best way to
Yes.
find you?
Well, so Howard, the last name is Aaron. It's interesting. I have two first names.
Yeah.
All my life, I was called Aaron Howard. Then I was called Howard Aaron. I wish it was Aaron Howard, because then I wouldn't sit in seat 1, row 1, or be the first one to have to give the book report every time we had to do things in alphabetical order. Double A trumps everybody. Anyway,
Yes, it does.
so yes, so I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. HowardAaron.com is my website, and it gives you enough information about how to reach out to me. My email address, my phone number. When I was going through chemotherapy, I had so many people that I don't know reaching out to me on Instagram, letting me know that I'm inspiring them. They love my stories. They love my vulnerability. Because I'll say this: there were days where I would get on social media and say, I feel like I've been in a boxing match and I got hit too many times on the body. I mean, I was taking hits. Because it's not always going to be good. I didn't want to go on and saying, hey, it's me. Yes, it's day 47 and I'm doing chemo and everything is great. No. There were days where my tongue hurt. There were days that when my tongue touched my teeth, it hurt. And those days, that's how I spoke. That's how I let people know that today's a thunderstorm. Today is the blizzard. But you know what? Maybe tomorrow the sun will come out. So that's the other thing. It's a mindset. I mean, I want your listeners to do anything and everything they can to finding ways of getting the support, the psychosocial support that they can get when it comes to, I need help beating this. I need people rallying around me, or I need an organization, or I need a group, or I need a trainer. I need somebody. Everybody is better off when they know that they have somebody else in their corner trying to help them and fight, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for this today. This was so fun. And what a great way to start the new year with positivity and excitement for life. And I really appreciate your time. Congratulations on being cancer free. And we will
Thank
all
you.
be wishing
Thank
you
you.
good luck next month at the
Thank you.
Arnold. And I know
Thank
you're
you.
going to set a new record. It's going to be amazing.
I hope I will, and I feel I will. So let's just say we're going to ride that wave.
All
Absolutely.
right. All right. Well, thank you again so much. I really appreciate your time and have a great rest of your day.
You too, Melissa. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.